We had
We had
a
a
hiccup a few
hiccup a
seconds
few
ago. We were
seconds ago
talking
where we
about the
talked about the
2022 best
2022
DAW,
best DAW,
and we got
and we got
803 on
803
the
on
live
the
stream with
live
us,
stream
and
with us, and
if he remember
if he
his
remember
thought
his
about
thought about uh,
Ableton, I
Ableton,
guess we can go
I guess
from
we can go
there.
from there.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember. Uh, but I was saying, I believe Ableton probably got its ranking. Uh, honestly, I want to say because most DJs use it when they're performing. Um, I want to say it's one of the preferred for a lot of artists performing as well. Um, Most likely because of clip mode, you know, the clips, you're able to play the clips and stuff like that, and they can switch in between their clips, and then you have uh, again, like I was saying, Studio One, which I would love to uh, put that against Ableton to see how their live show functions up against Ableton in a live situation. And I've seen Ableton live in action, um, live and in person, as well as from watching people talk how they use, how they used it behind the scenes for live performances and stuff like that. And usually they have two machines running to load up the next song, and then they run it. And anytime they want to go to a specific part of the song, that engineer uh, knows the cue, and they know where to go in there, what clip to hit, so that it comes in when they go into that next section. So I can see Ableton being up there like that. Ableton's ability to handle audio. Uh, it was one of the first I know to really be able to, with the time stretching, kind of flawlessly. So, to where it's not really any artifacts in it, whatever. But I think Serato is catching up, if not has already caught up to him, But um, uh, the top five, in my opinion, and I'm not giving no specific order because I agree with Two Nickels on the fact that there is no best DAW. It's just whatever DAW inspires you to create the most is what you use. Like, if I had to say what DAW would be my go-to DAW, I would have to say Reason because I've been in it the longest. Although I do a lot of creating in Logic, Studio One, Pro Tools, believe it or not, Cubase, uh, FL Studio. And I've had all of these for quite some time. So I mean, I work in multiple DAWs. So for me, there's really no first or second place. Each one have their own unique style, texture about it. So um, I think the list is messed up with the Mixcraft and the Reaper. Those two should be like the last two. I'll give Reaper 11 and Mixcraft 12. Everything else should be above that, in my opinion. So
Respect,
Respect,
respect.
respect.
Welcome back, Alan.
Welcome back, Alan.
Appreciate
Appreciate.
you coming back. Hopefully everybody else will return. We had a hiccup on the part one, but basically what we are doing is we're discussing the 2022 best doll, and this is based on musicradar.com, so you guys can go over it yourselves and visit this list and see what's going on. And so we're just chopping it up, music production, music producer talk on like what we feel like this list is based on, and you guys in that's watching can chime in and tell us what you think. So far right now, what we're reading here is that Ableton Live made it to number one, and we were just discussing the reason behind that. And what we came up with was we just felt like it's based on the user base that's actually using these programs. So it this is the best I could come up with. I'm not really sure. Maybe I can connect with somebody on the inside of Music Radar and they can like share with me the reasoning, or it can be a vote system that can be in place that certain people are voting in terms of how they rate these. Coming at number 2 is FL Studio, and I must say, like, just me based on what I've seen on YouTube, I feel like I feel like FL would have been around the top portion, ranking very high because there is a lot of people who use FL Studio. Absolutely. Like when you go in there and you want to learn how to make beats or watch people make beats, 9 times out of 10 you're going to see FL Studio in there, or you might see Ableton. Coming at number 3 is Logic Pro. Um yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Logic Pro is coming to number 3, and then we got Cubase is coming right after that, and followed by that would be Studio One coming in at number 5, and then at number 6 is Reaper. Reaper has made his way to number 6, and then follow that is Reason coming in at number 7, and then at number 8 we got Bitwig that's on the list, ranking at number 8. And then coming in at number 9 is Garage Band, which is kind of interesting. Then number 10, Acoustica Mixcraft. That is also interesting. That is on the list. It is on the list coming in at number 10, and then at number 11 we have Pro Tools. In a lot of these, I've seen Pro Tools kind of rank towards the higher end, but they are almost off the list, guys. They are almost off the list. And then at number 12, which is the very last one, we have Cakewalk. I think Cakewalk is kind of cool just based on the looks. I've never used it. I've wanted to use it just based on like their history and where they went, where they went through. They, we all thought that they was going to like fall to the, flat on the earth, and people step on and walk over it and it just become forgotten. But then we have this company called BandLab that came in and swooped it up, and they turned it into what it is now, and they seem to be doing very well. So they're on the list, and will be very interesting to see how well they kind of walk up. Get it? Cake walk up the. Okay, never mind. So we got 803 on the line with us, and if you are on Discord, you guys have the link as well. If you want to join me live, I welcome you onto the stream. This is a last minute thing. If you feel up to it, I just wanted to know, like from the crowd, from the Painter crew, what y'all thinking about this list. This is not nothing I put together. This is something that is put together and curated by Music Radar. And as a matter of fact, Music Radar is a platform that is highly respected amongst the producers and the music industry world in terms of like devices and like plugins and just like music industry. They hold a nice amount of weight in the industry, and we respect them. Right now we just trying to figure this thing out, like how, and like, do you guys agree with this list? So that's kind of the discussion right now. Yeah. J Beats, what up?
What up?
I want to also say um, what probably pushed Logic Pro. Well, Logic Pro is gonna have to be in the top 5 or 8 anyway. But I think what probably pushed them up is probably the last update. I guess the last features or whatever it is that they put in. I'm still a fan of their compressors. Um, but um, the rest of the list is kind of garbage to me. I want to say, um, like I say, Reaper, Mixcraft, and Garage Band should be in the basically the last three. Pro Tools, even though it's lower, um, and I want to say it's where everybody knows only because creative wise, it's not the most user friendly creatively. Um, I mean, right out the box, you're limited with, um, as far as sounds and stuff like that, sounds and effects. And then you have to either be subscribed. I think the subscription thing kind of killed them out. Um, doing that subscription thing because people are really not a fan. People do subscriptions, but they're not really a fan of subscriptions. And like I have some some subscriptions to certain things, but I'm really a perpetual type of person. Most people
Audacity.
Two nickels there.
He said
Audacity
audacity
should be on the list.
You're wrong, Two Nickels. You're wrong. I was trying to keep that out of. I was trying to keep that out of my mouth.
Oh man.
You know,
That's funny.
but yeah, yeah. Shoes. I probably take take that over Mixcraft. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would have to really be honest with you. I would have to really get to know Mixcraft. But Mixcraft, if I'm correct, isn't Mixcraft PC only? Let me see.
Yeah, but Cakewalk is too.
Yeah, but Cakewalk has long history. Long history. Mixcraft to me is just kind of like coming in the picture. And it's
Right.
too soon for it to have any type of leeway on any list. I mean, not saying that something can't be a phenomenon once it come out, because believe it or not, um, uh, Akai should be on the list because you can also do audio recording in Akai software. They actually have become a DAW. It may not be as intricate as some of the others, but what you can do with the Akai product, and of course, if you're with the exception of standalone mode, standalone mode, you only get, I believe 8 or 9 tracks, something like that, audio wise. Which is good to put down your ideas, but when you're ready to go full fledged on it, you can go, you know, straight into it and record audio tracks just like in any other DAW. So um, if anything, they probably should have made the list before Mixcraft.
Huh.
And
Okay.
I'm surprised Native Instruments hadn't taken the machine software to that level. They have it there partially, but I'm surprised they haven't done it. So I just, the list is kind. I'm still stuck with what Ron said. How did they base their, and I believe somebody else said something about that. How they based, how they came to this conclusion. What metrics that they use to get this. So
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All
So
right.
let's do this.
So let's do this.
Let's make our own
Let's
list.
make our own list.
How about that?
How about that?
So
So
we need to
We
come
need
up
to
with a
come up with a
way,
way,
or come up
or
with
come up with
the
the
rules
rules
based
based
on
on
I don't know,
I don't know,
it may be
it may be
price, it may
price,
be user
maybe
base.
user
We
base.
don't have
We don't
access
have
to
access to
user data
user
in terms of
data
like
in
who
terms of like
used
who
what,
used what,
but
but
this list
this
will
list
be
will
based
be
on
based on
us,
us,
you guys in the
you
comment
guys in the
section,
comment section,
and
and
we want y'all to
we
help
want
us
y'all to
out.
help us out.
Hey,
Hey,
this show is
this
just
show
like
is just like we just roll.
we going from
We
scratch.
going
Like
from
all these
scratch. Like all
ideas
these
just popped
ideas
up.
just popped up.
So we got
So
Music
we got
Radar
Music
that
Radar that
came up with their
came up
list,
with their list,
but
but
on the
on
creative
the creative
platform, we're gonna
platform,
come up
we're
with
gonna
what
come
we
up with
think
what
number
we
one
think number
is, what
one
we think
is,
number
what we
two
think number
is,
two is,
and I guess
and
we'll
I
go
guess we'll
up
go up
to
to
let's
yeah,
go up.
let's go up.
Let's go up to 10
Let's
for
go up
right
to 10 for
now,
right
and
now,
then if
and
we feel
then
like
if we
there's
feel
a
like there's a
12 and 13,
12 and
well,
13,
11 and
11
12,
and
then we'll
12,
add
then
that.
we'll
But
add
like,
that. But like,
so number
so
one.
number one.
Now, based on
based on
based on based on the list, Music Radar, we have Ableton Live, we got Cubase, we got Logic, we got Pro Tools, we got I mean, if you guys been on the stream so far, you know what the lineup is. So, based on number one, what do you guys feel like should be at number one right now? And we got
we got
803 on the
803 on the
line
line
with us.
with us.
So
So
803, you
803,
thinking
you
number one
thinking
should
number
be
one should be
what you think number
what you
one should
think
be?
number one?
I'm gonna have to give it to I'm gonna have to give it to Abel. I don't. It's hard, but I'm gonna have to give it to Ableton.
All right.
All right.
So Ableton
So
stays on
Ableton
the
stays
list
on
at
the
number
list
one.
at number one.
Now,
Now,
do you
do
guys
you
in the
guys
comment
in the
section,
comment
do y'all
section, do
agree?
y'all agree?
Just write
Just
number
write
one
number one
in the comment
in the
section
comment
if y'all
section if
agree with
y'all
that.
agree with that.
Should
Should
is
is
Ableton
Ableton
Live
Live
earn its
earn its
rightful
rightful
position
position
as number
as
one?
number one?
Alan says
Alan
one.
says one.
Shad,
Shad,
and think
what's up?
about
what's up?
y'all think about what all it comes with, creatively, sounds, effects, and not just the audio features and the clip features and all the stuff. Remember
Right.
everything
Right.
it comes with.
So I'm
So
guessing
I'm guessing
I want to say
I want to
let's not
say
really
let's not
focus
really
on
focus
price
on price
because that I don't know.
I don't
Price
know.
price can get in the
Get in the
way. Like
way.
I feel
Like
like
I feel
me
like
personally,
it's
it's just based on
just
how
based on how
I see things.
I
Like
see things. Like
if I add
if I add
price,
price,
if I add price on this list, like if we're ranking this based on price, then the list will be definitely it will be ranked differently. Um, but I guess right now all of that we really concerned with is like what we feel like is the best doll. You know what I mean? Like you're not the best doll because you're $100, but you're the best doll because of ease of use, quality. You know what I mean? Like it's a dope doll. Like it allows us to get in creatively and do what we need to do. Um, which is subjective to, but we having fun. We coming up with a
coming up with a list.
Wacko says
Wacko
no.
says no.
Yeah, there is an echo. Yeah, I am aware. There's an echo coming from 803's computer. But hopefully y'all can ignore that.
Yeah, it could be me.
Yeah, it seemed like
my voice
it like
it like
On your end,
On
my
your
voice
end,
is
my
coming
voice is
in through
coming
the
in
stream
through
as
the stream
well.
as well.
Yeah.
So if you
So
look, if you
if you
using
use a
loop back, is that
loop
what you
back, is that
using?
what you?
I I I I just put it back on loop back, but if I did it uh hold on, let me look at it again.
Yeah, because
Yeah, because
what you did
what you did
originally,
originally,
it was like a
it was like a
huge
huge
echo,
echo,
I was crazy.
sound like a
sound
spring
like a
reverb
spring
or something like
reverb
that.
or something like
Yeah.
Alan says
that. Alan
not
says
price but
not price
value.
but value.
Okay,
Okay,
I could dig it.
I could dig it.
So we're creating
So
this
we're
list
creating this
based on
list based
value.
on value.
So
So
in the comment
in the
section, what
comment
y'all
section, what
think
y'all think
should be on number
should be
two?
on number two?
And
And I'll pick
I'll pick
I'll pick
tell me if this fixes it. Hold on.
okay.
okay.
I'll pick the one you guys would mention the most. So we got 2 nickels for Studio One. He says Studio One should be number 2. We got PZL that's going for Studio One. Shad says FL. Alan said Logic. We got 2 for Studio One. 1 for FL. Logic. Uh-oh. Y'all still hear the echo? I think he muted it now for right now. JB says Studio One. That's 3 for Studio One. Oscar, you say Ableton. Yeah, Ableton is number 1. Ableton right now is number 1. We got a list going right here, guys. So Ableton is number 1. We're going for number 2. So I'm gonna put Studio One for number 2 because it looks like you guys are like really, really rooting for Studio One.
Can you hear me? Check 1 2.
Yeah, I can hear you. Uh-oh.
Okay.
You fixed it, bro. All right, you fix it. Save that. Save that setting. Save it as L Upstream because I'm pretty sure this ain't gonna be the last time.
Well, I know what to do now. I'm gonna make one specifically for that.
All right, cool. We fixed the echo problem, guys.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna have to have a one-on-one with you so you can take me through this, because I'm still not a loop back. I don't have a loop back down at all. I look at yours and just be scratching my head. Now that I have to say like 2 nickels. That's like calculus or something.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't even know how you do it.
trial and error, man. I be like trying all types of stuff. I think I got a handle, I guess, the handle on it.
Yeah. You got more than a handle.
If I turn on my camera and zoom all the way out and I show y'all, oh my gosh, it's like an octopus up in here. Like from my interface, I got 2 computers. One is coming from one interface into this other interface that I have my headphones on. But the trick is to avoid it from loop backing inside the stream, because this interface is going into the other. So it's like the interface, my mic feed and my computer feed is going into one interface, but it's a return come back in this interface. But avoiding that echo
Right.
is the trick. So I'm using the mixture of loop back and the capturing, not the capturing, but the universal. What is this thing? Universal. It's the universal control. The Persona's universal control to control what is coming in my headphone cue. Yeah, it's crazy. It's weird.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with them. Studio One's is number 2, and then FL Studio.
All right, all right. So we
Well,
already got a the next one coming in. Someone said FL should be number 3. Two Nickels
I don't
said,
know. FL and Reason got. I don't know. That's a hard one.
well, we got Two Nickels for FL
Yeah.
at number three. We got Ron. Ron says FL3 should be at number three. Oscar is going for number three with FL. Wacko
I
says number three.
I give y'all something to think about. Okay, so you can create something in Reason right now easily without having to add any type of compression, anything like that, and it hit right off. Um, with FL, you might have to do something, and then there's a lot of extra steps FL wise. You know what I'm saying? You uh think flow. Reason it pops up your lane and you already creating. You ain't got to figure nothing out. Okay, this is gonna be here. And then when you get ready to go to the arrangement thing, you got to go and then pull all this down here to the actual arrangement window from the different patterns that you had to hook up, and then you start placing stuff in. Whereas with Reason, you already in your lane. You can just start placing stuff right then and there. See, it's, think workflow. It's a lot easier. Although if you and still, you know, it's really based on what you use the most, which is gonna rank highest in anybody's opinion. But overall, I say Reason would be number three. And it's a hard choice. Trust me, y'all, it's a hard choice. But I say Reason is next, and then um and believe it or not, behind Reason, I would throw Cakewalk. I mean not Cakewalk, Cubase.
Okay.
Cubase. Cube.
Okay. So based on what you just said, so if everybody was listening, is anybody retracting what they feel like should be at number three? Because there was a bunch of you guys that said FL Studio should be number three, but now that 803 spoke, do y'all feel like Reason earned the number three spot, and then FL comes in number four?
I mean, either way, both is gonna be in the top five.
Okay, so by votes, who think that FL should be number four and Reason at number three? If y'all can punch in
Put
let's see.
R R3 or R4 or FL.
Does everybody have access to emojis? Um. Okay, let's do this. Okay, y'all. It look like y'all got a handle on it. I'm watching the comments come in. There's a lot of people saying FL for number three. Cornell says R3. Says Reason should be at number three, but everybody else is saying FL for number three. Ron says I base FL3 due to popularity, but I could flip 3 and 4 between Reason. So basically,
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if we talking about popularity, that's a whole other ball game. But we not just talking popularity. We think don't just think popularity. Think workflow, ergonomics, all that type of think about the essence of that of that DAW, what it does. You know, uh, because you can pencil just as good in Reason as you do in FL Studio.
Okay. So if y'all looking at the screen, do y'all agree with FL being at number 3 and Reason being at studio number 4? So if you agree, just type Y. If you don't agree, type N for no.
I'm gonna say no.
String participation.
I may
We got
lose,
one
but I'm
for
gonna say
Y.
no.
Oscar said, yes, I agree with this. Two Nichols said, yes, that's 2. That's 2 no's. Oh, that's 3 no's.
Two
Oh, that's
Nickels,
4 no's.
shame on you, Two Nickels. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
It said too many clicks in FL. Ron disagrees. All right, so let me tally up. We're talking about who agrees with where the list is now. FL is at 3, Reason for 4. You got 1,
1, 2,
1, 2, 3,
6, 6
4,
no's.
5. 5 people say no. They disagree.
No, 6. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6. 6 no's. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 yes for FL.
Yeah, J Beats. Yeah, FL is pretty popular. A lot of people use it. I mean, but is that the reason why we would put FL at 3, or should it be moved down to 4? That's what we.
Yeah. This is not. Let's just call it what let's just call it what it is. You know, spade to spade. You know, we're not looking at popularity. Popularity come and go. But we looking at the overall functionality of that DAW. There's a lot
Okay.
of extra steps. And I'm saying it because there's a lot of extra steps to FL Studio versus it being a lot of extra steps in Reasons. It's very little. I mean, once you call an instrument up, that lane is created, and you doing whatever you're doing. Reason automatically creates your lane. Now FL Studio does its it has its pattern base, and believe it or not, Reason has a pattern base, but it's called blocks, so to speak. Blocks. Well, it's kind of a pattern base, but it's called blocks. So if you want to do it like that, you know, have your different patterns already, you know, worked out, but you're still doing it just like you would any other. But once you pull an instrument up, whether it's a VST or an actual rack extension, that lane is created. You ain't got to go from here and pull it down here and then go over there and start at it's already in its lane. And FL does a lot. It does a lot. I'm not taking from FL is going to be on the top 5. That's just bottom line.
Right. Man, this is fun. So we like just reminding you guys we're not talking price, but um we talking value, quality, what you're able to do. although FL, like someone mentioned, FL does a lot, but um, I'm just thinking like don't pick FL to be at 3 if that's just what you hear a lot on. Because for some people, FL will be number one on this list, but
Yeah.
we're talking like value, power pack, like um, in so many ways. I'm thinking like FL Studio, even though it's rich in features, I still agree with Ableton being at number one because of its maturity. Like it's professional. You know what I mean? Like FL is made for beat makers more so. Like in Ableton, you can record vocals and mix. I mean, I think you can do the same thing at FL, but like in terms of like professional, what the professionals are using, um, and just I don't know. Again, that's subjective. I mean, all of this whole list is just. Let's move on. We spent too many time on here. So what's coming in number
Uh,
5, guys? What's number 5? What's number 5, guys?
Cubase.
Cubase.
I say Cubase.
Cubase is coming in at number 5.
And fun fact, FL Studio wasn't created for urban beat makers when it was created. Not even FL. I mean, not even Reason was. But you know,
The Studio One wasn't either.
Yeah, all of them. The majority of them wasn't really, to be honest with you. But we take what we get. I'm gonna tell you what put FL Studio on the map. Be honest with you, because back in the day, a lot of people was getting it hacked until they found out they could get in trouble for it. Then they said, well, you know what? Let me save my money and actually buy it, so I don't get in trouble because I know I'm gonna be on YouTube with it, and you know,
You
because
said
they
Eddie
do
T.
be watching.
Eddie T, I think.
I'm not calling it a toy.
Yeah,
No,
that's not. Yeah, that's
not at
not
all.
what we're doing. We're
I
yeah.
have FL Studio on my computer. If it was a toy, I wouldn't have it on my computer. And everybody know me. I multiple dolls. Multiple. So
Right.
I'm not
So
at all.
there's definitely a huge respect for FL Studio users.
Huge respect.
You know, we're not the ones that condemn people for using FL Studio. That's not what we're doing here. I don't use FL Studio. 803 has FL Studio, so he's coming from experience and what he saw or seen. I can also come from what I've seen. You know what I mean? I just know that FL Studio should be in the top 5 because of its popularity for one, but it's popular for a reason, right? Like um everybody seems to hop on it and think that it's pretty good and you can make beats really fast. And as a matter of fact, I follow a bunch of producers who use FL Studio, so don't get it twisted. I respect a lot of people who uses it, and I think it's really cool to see. And I actually was almost at a point where I purchased it because when we talk price, I think FL Studio is probably the cheapest one on whoever lists besides Reaper, because I think Reaper has the same model where you buy Reaper and then you own it forever. I think, I'm not sure, but FL Studio has a one-time lifetime deal where when you buy it, you don't have to update at any point. It's just free all the time, or you have access to it. So I mean, but let's not talk. I'm not talking price. I'm talking value. But I mean, FL is on the first 5, so hey, we giving y'all that. It's the first 5. All right, so number 6 is Logic. You think I hear some people say Logic should be coming up next. What do y'all think? Should we put Logic at number 6? Somebody said Contact. Come on now, really? Contact. We're not talking instrument. We talking Daws. The best DAW. Contact is a virtual instrument. It's not a. It's not a DAW. Ah. Oh my gosh. Let's go with Logic at number 6, right? Y'all feeling that? Logic Pro at number 6? So if Logic Pro is at number 6, then what are we thinking for number 7? He said Cakewalk is free. Somebody said Mackie. Oh, 803. Mackie.
I'm laughing. Ron said it, and I was laughing at Ron. Like, really, you go call out traction? traction is just like saying, you know what?
Two Nichols said Bitwig should be at number 7 or 6.
I think he's saying Bitwig should be at number 6.
All right, we've come to another battle. Logic Pro or Bitwig, take the 6. Who's gonna take number 6? Forget what everybody else say, right?
I really don't have no strong experience with Bitwig, but from what I've seen, I think it's creatively, I would probably have to agree with Two Nichols on that.
Bitwig at number 6.
I don't know, because you make it look real good. I mean, you make Logic look good too. So it's always gonna boil down to the user, guys. It's always gonna boil down to the user. Um, I want to give it. I kind of want to give it to Bitwig because it won't crash.
Right, man. There's so many factors right now. Like, I feel like Bitwig should be at number 1 on this list. Period, based on like stability. Because I guess that's not what we're talking about.
I'm rethinking that one too.
Because Ableton and Bitwig does share. I feel like they should always be next to each other, to be honest with you. But I mean, that's just me. That's my opinion, and take it away.
Okay, y'all. This is just a rough draft, and we'll just have to come back to this, and we're gonna get categories together.
Right.
Like stability, popularity, workflow.
Yeah, that might need to be a different list for every category. And we're about to create our own blog.
And, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, and then we come back. We come back to this. We can come back to this. We come back to this because we there's so many factors that make you go back and rethink.
Okay.
JB so a lot of people saying Bitwig.
JB says put Bitwig at number 6. All right.
Yeah.
803 says it. Two Nichols says it. And I think it was Ron that says it. All right. So are we thinking Logic at number 7?
Yeah. Logic.
All right. We're just having fun, guys. I mean, this is like, we're not trying to step on anybody's toes and like hurting anybody's feelings. It's just we just on the stream, just chopping it up, having fun. Like this not an end all be all. Like, don't quit your career because we put Logic Pro at 7 and Reason at 3. Like, come on now, like really, like we just having fun. All right, so So coming at number 8, we got well, if we're looking at the list now on the music radar, we got Cakewalk that's hanging in at number 12. Then we got Pro Tools around the way somewhere, and then we got Mixcraft on here. Based on me and 803, I think we both agree that Mixcraft don't belong on this list at all. So I don't think Mixcraft will make it on this list. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. Um,
Yeah.
Garage Band, I feel like, um,
That technically shouldn't be either.
yeah, because if Garage Band is on this list, then we might as well add Audacity to the list. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exact. That's why I was saying. Mix,
yeah, Audacity should be
that's
on this
like
list just
that's
based on
like
that. But needless to say, I think it made it on the list. It like based on user. I think I can't even say user base. I say there was probably a vote system that was in play. Like they sent this vote system to certain people, and I think that's how
yeah,
this. Yeah, so I
yeah.
agree with you there. Okay, so we got Reaper. Reaper is it's another Reaper is making its way. Like Reaper is being talked about a lot now. Like it's coming up. Like it's like
It's
Reaper
PC two
users are
only,
trying
right?
to make us respect them.
Is it PC only?
Let me see. Reaper. No, I don't think so. Cause I feel like I had Reaper on my system before, unless they changed it. But I can read real quick and see what are they saying about Reaper. So, um, hold on, let me see. See how they structure this. So they got Ableton at number 1, and then after that is
Oh no, it's Mac too.
specification right after that. Okay, so that means if I go to Reaper, which is number 6, I think.
Yeah, Reaper's number 6.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
So
Mac.
specification for Reaper is PC, Mac, and Linux. So yeah, I had Reaper like the free version on my system, but in terms of Reaper, I'm not really sure. Like, does it work with instruments like virtual instruments? Like, I want to say yes, but
Yeah, it does. It does. Um, I mean, the only reason I'm saying it does is because of my extensive research in the Nicos and the Micos when my plan was to get one, but then they decided to go out of business because the split between the two partners. Um, Reaper was their main DAW on it, even though you can run whatever DAW you wanted to on there. And this was, I want to say, right around the time Pro Tools became PC friendly. Um, Reaper was their number one DAW on there, and you could use VST instruments on there.
okay.
I want to say you can.
Yeah, this price at $60. I think I remember it being that like you pay $60 and you own it. I think like that's the standard version.
That's the standard version. Yeah, but I guess they have a pro version. Hold on, let me.
This is what I also remember. Like it said reasons to avoid. It said it does not come with loads of plugins. So I think that's what I remember. Ryan says Pro Tools for number 8. All right. Um, Ryan, I'm gonna need you to explain why you think Pro Tools should come at number 8. I I I am waiting to hear this one. I'm going to
It,
say I personally don't care for Pro Tools, for mixing or especially not music production. But I would love to hear Ron's input on why he think it should come in at, because when I saw this list, I was thinking at first I was thinking like, man, okay, 1 to 10, and then I kept scrolling like, oh, they got 12 slots in here. So I'm like, well, I guess Pro Tools and it didn't make it. Like, that's a first. I don't think I've ever seen that before where Pro Tools is not on the list, bro. And then I kept scrolling, and then it was like, bam, Pro Tools at 11. But I don't know. It's like it's still on the list, you know. I guess we still
Okay.
have to respect the grandfather. You know what I mean? Like people still use Pro Tools. But is it just for mixing? When okay, post production. I guess I can respect it for that reason, mixing and post production. But like as far as like for music, I I wouldn't I wouldn't bother it. But
Okay,
we got
there's two prices. I'm sorry, there's two prices for a Reaper. If you're just a hobbyist and you're just doing it for yourself, it's $60. But if you're gonna use it commercially, then it's $225.
mm, aha.
You have a commercial license and the discount license is 60. Because so for the hobbyist, if you're just doing it for yourself, just for the fun of it, or creating music or using something like that, just $60. And then, but if you
Okay.
want to do commercial use of it, making money, then yeah, 225.
Okay. I think most of the prices on here is coming from beginner prices because when I saw the price for Ableton, that is not the price. that is that is not the price, bro. That's for their light version. They're like $99. I'm like, nah, bro. That's yeah, intro standard. Nah, that's definitely not a standard or a suite, but they got it on here. But I mean, it
Yeah,
says starting
you're
from
gonna pay over 700-800 for, especially if you have the push.
right. So starting at $99 is what the intro version costs. So, but I mean, you're very limited, like super limited. Like you will buy intro if you're just using it to perform. Like you have another DAW and you just throwing a true track in here and just do something. But it's like as far as like music making, I'm not sure if unless you're using third party, but I don't know how it works with that. Like I don't know if they lock things up because I know with Studio One they kind of do that. Like there's certain things that's available. Like you can't even bounce to MP3 if you're using their Prime version. Um, but maybe they changed that. I think they changed that.
Say that again.
No, I was just talking about like the intro, the difference between the intro and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
the okay. So what we thinking? Pro Tools come in at number 8, or should something else? Okay, Mooner says Reaper should come in at number 8.
Yeah, nah, I get Pro Tools for Reaper, and I got
Okay,
tracks to prove it.
let's look at the list again. All right. So we got for our list, our custom list, Ableton is number 1, Studio One is number 2, Reason for 3, followed by that is FL Studio. Then we got Cubase, Bitwig Studio, Logic Pro. Um, I guess I could put something else that's not even on the music radar page, like Lunar or something like that. If y'all feel like Lunar should be on here, or
Digital Performer that wasn't even on
yeah,
there.
DP. If
I'm
y'all feel like
surprised.
DP is on, it should be on the list. I don't really hear much about DP though.
Yeah, I mean, I would give Pro Tools. Pro Tools gonna have to be a top 10, regardless. Even if it makes it at 10, it's got to be a top 10. But I would say Pro Tools next.
Okay.
That's my. Let me go and put Pro Tools in the chat so man I can count.
Mona says, "Is a machine that bad as a doll?" Well, machine is not a doll,
Dog,
technically.
yeah.
Well, technically it is, but it's not, right? Like,
It's not a full dog.
right. The things on this list is what you're able to use when it comes to recording vocals or instruments, the ability to mix and master, the like being able to use MIDI instruments, um, and it also having an engine that can handle, even though some of these may crash, but the engine is still able to handle it. I think a machine, you can't put that much stuff in there. Like their engine is not really optimized to. The machine would be considered a groove box. That's how they label it, and I got that confirmation from Native Instruments, inside Native Instruments. I had several conversations with them, and they do not have a interest in becoming a doll. So they are aware that it's not a doll, and they don't want to be in that spotlight or that realm. Although that may change, hey, there's no
Yeah,
telling because you know we we've been looking for an update, and that might be what they do pretty soon. Top of the year, boom, machine
yeah.
what
They holding that as
3.0.
an element of surprise.
Right, right, exactly. Like
But
whoa,
right now,
what?
I think they doing great because they right now to me they at the top of the line as far as uh not so much just plugins but creative creative tools so to speak because they got everything in one stop. You know, you got a plethora of instruments, a plethora of um, uh, effects and stuff that you can use. You know, to do what you got to do. So uh, I think they holding their lane. They know where they at for the moment.
Okay, what's up, Touchtone? So yeah, Touchtone Ableton remains at number one. Touchtone on the musicradar.com site, it's rated as number one, and we're making our own list, and we decided to put Ableton Live, keep Ableton Live at number one. Um, but he also mentioned MPC. So if we're talking machine MPC, then now we gotta start talking about um um gosh, it was on the tip of my tongue. We gotta talk about Serato Studios because Serato Studio is now
It's coming along. It
capable
is.
of being a doll now,
Yeah, it's
or
coming
is a
along.
doll.
Yeah, I take that over Mixcraft from Reaper all day myself.
What, Serato?
Yeah, they they they, they I don't know who they was talking to.
So yeah, like there's a lot of. I'm gonna feel touch Tony in right quick because I think he just came in. So there's a lot of factors in play, and I'm pretty sure just based on what he's saying, like
Yeah,
we
MPC.
left out the cost. Like cost has nothing to do with it. Like we just talking about like can't even really say ease of use because those of you is gonna feel like no, Cubase is way easier than Ableton, so Cubase should be number one. I don't think we're not really coming from that angle either. Um, we're coming from like it's like the hit, like knowing that hit when you hear it, like oh that's a hit. Um, or an album, or knowing what comes at number one, or ranked on like what should be played at number one, what should be submitted as number two, three, four, five, whatever. Right? I guess that's subjective too because like I'm not saying that track one is better than an eight. It's just you got to fill them up. You know what I mean? All of them should be number one. But we're talking like the greatest Daws, and these are like the common ones that we see. But I guess we're coming from like, I guess there's a little bit of popularity in there too, because that's kind of what this feels like. Like, what do we see most people use, right? You pick one, but then like you go on YouTube and you see a bunch of people using FL. So according to popularity, FL should be probably either number one or number two.
I can tell you what would be number one as a one stop shop, or based on its structure, its overall structure, and
I already know what you're gonna say.
that would be Studio One,
Right.
because they creation, post production, and then um uh uh all your data, all that stuff right there. It's just it's like it's set up so that everything is right there.
All right,
Even though you can do everything in the others. But
I'm gonna put Pro Tools at number 8. I don't like Pro Tools, but like you guys said, Pro Tools should
yeah, I
be.
say Pro Tools. And then uh we agreed to kick Reaper and Mixcraft off this list, right?
Um,
Are we still gonna go by this list? Just this list.
I think we could be spontaneous. Like we don't have to follow the list. I mean, hey, we coming up with this on fly. Um, so the last, okay, so there was Reaper that was on the list. There was Mixcraft that was on the list. There was Cakewalk that was on the list. So that's 3. And what do you guys feel about those making it on the list? Like, should we kick those and just like add Serato on here and then Machine and um
Let's go. I'm gonna go with Touch Tone and say that MPC should be next, and then Serato.
all right. I hope I spelled that. I think it's Serato Studio or something like that.
Yeah, you can just leave it Serato. That's fine. We know what it is.
All right. What y'all think?
Well, David Delina said why you don't like Pro Tools. Pro Tools is not a it production wise. Um, it,
Right.
they haven't really done anything super spectacular in my opinion for it to stay at the top of the chain. I mean, my opinion based on I don't dislike it because I'll still create in it, you know, depending on how I'm feeling. You know, so you know what, I think I'm gonna go in, and I've done it, and I played it for some guy. Now, if you come in Discord, I can play you something that I did with. You got to join Discord.
Right.
Plug for the creative Discord.
So I'll say my reasons for not liking Pro Tools, like my experience in there was um it's clunky to me.
Yeah.
Just overall experience. Pro Tools always presented error messages and windows that always popped up on my system, and I've been using them for years. And each update has always been the same. When you go from one computer to another, because I was collaborating with quite a few people and things like that, always run into issues. Always. Um, I've done a project with my uncle one time, and it was like a simple project. He was doing guitar, recording him in, and like me doing like all of the digital stuff. Like it was so like, oh my god, like it felt so dinosaurish, like it was not pleasant dealing with MIDI, and I'm pretty sure they made a lot of updates since then, but it was very clunky in terms of like making music. And then the other thing is, I'm not putting it on what's surfacing around YouTube, but you just don't see a lot of people using Pro Tools for production. They're using Pro Tools to mix. Pro Tools is
Yeah.
good for that. Mixing, that's what mix engineers swear by Pro Tools, but for production, no. They're using other things other than Pro Tools. So Pro Tools is not, I mean, but we still put it on the list because some people, you know, feels differently, right? Like this, I feel like this is y'all list. This is not my list. Pro Tools would never make it on this list if it was my list.
And if I
Pro Tools
might
would
add,
not be on here.
I've seen a lot of people saying that they're moving from Pro Tools to Studio One,
Right.
mixing wise.
I'm gonna put Cakewalk on here. Somebody said Cakewalk. I think Cakewalk is cool. I like what
Yeah,
BandLab did
yeah,
with them, even though it's only PC. I've
yeah.
never used it, but I went on that site and I saw some videos. I was like, man, this is a dope platform. I think if it was for Mac, I probably would have had it by now, and we would probably be in Cakewalk doing some stuff. But I don't own a PC, so
Uh, so we'll have to holler at them and say, hey, when you gonna come out with a Mac version?
I already did.
You did?
Yeah, and what he told me, he said, we don't have any plans for making a Mac version. And I was like, oh, okay. It was like a smack in the face. So I
Yeah,
thought it was gonna say, I was like, hey, is that a Mac version? I thought it was gonna say something like we're working on it, or you know, it's on our roadmap or something like that. But they was like, we don't have any plans to make it available on the Mac, even though it was at one point, I think. But they took it off, and that's what Logic was like. Whatever it was before it became Logic, it used to be on PCs or whatever. So Logic has became, and I guess that's what Cakewalk is doing. Like, well, since if Logic is like, exclusive for Mac users, well, Cakewalk is exclusive for PC users. So I think that might be
yeah,
their angle. I'm putting Luna on the
yeah,
list because I feel like they're coming up.
yeah.
Um, Luna right now reminds me of Pro Tools, right? Like Luna is not,
The beginning.
yeah, it's not for production. Um, but it is, oh, like I will put Luna over Pro Tools. Like if we gonna put Pro Tools on the list, I will, like, in terms of what they can do, I would replace, I would swap. Pro Tools will come in at 12, but Luna is new. It's fresh. Um, as I'm talking, there's a lot of ideas that popped up in my head. Like, so, like, what is your list based on? So now I'm thinking, like, this. Oh my gosh. Studio One next update, full video editing, game over. Uh-oh. Did somebody just give us the inside? Said Long Beach. Did you just give us the inside scoop, or that's what you hoping for? But why would Studio become a full movie editing? Like, that's what Final Cut is for, or DaVinci Resolve is for, or um a couple other editing softwares.
Uh,
Who wants to edit in Studio One? For movies, right? Like, I like what they're doing now with with the the movie editing capabilities, like cutting and moving stuff, like I would use that for like TikTok videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can
Yeah.
also do that in Ableton too. Like you can put videos in there and cut stuff and move stuff around. So I respect them for that. Now, FL Studio on the other end, they got these these generators in there that turns your videos into something pretty
Yeah.
dope now.
Yeah.
So we
I
talking
like
like the
that.
best. We talking about the best video editing in terms of what you can do. FL probably be the best one on this list because of what you can do.
Yeah.
But
You
I
can
mean,
matter of fact, I did it with I did it on my page. I think I did it was like a what I call it it was a it was just a piano uh thing that I did, and you see this animation, like, and they do you can drop your track and apply whatever video. They got different little things you can apply to it, and I think you can put your own to it now through them, and yeah, I thought it was dope. So
yeah, absolutely. Cornell said, "What about mixed bus?" I think mixed bus is dope. Um,
mix bus MIDI is trash, but the mixing part is probably, I would say, it's really dope. That would be number 13,
yeah, yeah.
because
I
you
think
actually getting the Harrison console. Uh, uh, you getting the virtual version of their actual Harrison console, and they are the Harrison, is coming from Harrison themselves. So it's not like they taking somebody else's console and trying to emulate it. They're actually, you know, doing this, taking their console to the digital platform. That's what this is all about, and it's dope too. Um, um, if you listen to some mixes, and it's really dope. It's just like mixing on an actual analog um, console. To be honest with you,
okay. Somebody said, "What about Reaper?" We talked about it earlier. That was Gary. We talked about it earlier. Um, I think it's a good time to add Reaper to it at 15. Only because it's sneaking his way. Yeah, as y'all see, man, we on here, man. We do what we want. We do what we want. Reaper is making his way. But respectfully, Reaper is on the list. Reaper is already on the list on here.
just in the wrong spot, in
So
my opinion.
yeah, they made the sixth position. They're on here as number 6. They are definitely in the top 5. Definitely in the top 5. But again, we trying to figure out, like, we just think it's based on votes. Their own circle of people that they trust. Who Because I just feel like um a Reaper perhaps may not even be on this list. If you gave all of the music producers a chance to vote on whatever it is that they use to come up with, because I don't know, we just having fun. But that's the 2022 list. You guys go to musicradar.com and read this for yourselves. They do have like details and specifications and whatnot. And I think um like based on the details on the site, I don't think they even go in details as to why it made it to that number, but it's like a
Mhm.
description of what the DAW is and what it does. Like for instance, this one is Studio One, and what they're saying is Studio One has been gaining ground for several years, and it is now a DAW of real power and maturity, not merely matching its rivals in most respect, but going beyond them in a few areas. And I respect what they just said, because on my streams and some of my videos I've been posting, I feel like Studio One is definitely worth, the shot in the professional world, but they're still lacking a few things that will put them on top. And like as you can see, what they labeled as number one, which is Ableton Live, and that's just kind of been my point lately. In Ableton Live, you can do the most creative stuff in there, and just the engines and whatnots inside of Ableton. Um, I guess we talk stability, right? Stability is definitely a factor, but that's also subjective. It depends on what you're doing. Um, but for me on my system, because everybody has different systems, everybody does something a little bit differently. On my system, it seems to be okay. Like it crashed a couple times, but not like Studio One. Studio One is the crash king right now. They just crash as soon as you put a plug in there, and it don't matter where. Like even their own plug in crapped out. So, um, in terms of stability, Studio One is definitely falling short. But I mean,
Yep.
Studio One is still it's still a lot of stuff in machine. I mean, not machine, but Studio One that gives it its ranking, because you like for instance, like I'm
Scratch
working
pad.
currently on a drum pack which is out right now, and I'm adding more stuff to it, so you guys can go ahead and purchase it right now as we speak. The link is in the description. But in terms of like working on like um sound design and stuff like that, I'm talking about like when it comes down, like if you do a full kit and you trying to like push out one shots on some stuff that you making, bruh, you can bounce that stuff down real fast, export that stuff real quick, and add stuff to your files, like stuff like that is like crazy, like real fast. Like you don't even have to pull up the bounce window every time you need to export something. All you gotta do is drag it over to your folder or wherever. That is amazing. They got this thing called batch converter in there. I did a video on it, and when you need to get multiple files to read the same across the board, it's like just add about 50
Yeah, that's
files
dope.
in there if you want to, and then they
Yeah, that's
convert
dope.
it real quick. As you guys know, like in order to do stuff like that, you bring it in your DAW, and then you trying to like bounce all that stuff. Man, that's gonna take forever. But with the batch converter, it handles those files really well. And then the fact that they have a mastering page for mastering, stuff like that. Like if you're not using Studio One, what platform are you using? Like what additional software are you using to do that? You know what I mean? Like if you're in Ableton and you need to master something, that's fine. You can put mastering plugins in Ableton, but if you're mastering a project like 5 songs, 10 songs, like what program are you using to make those songs match across the board? And so Studio One offers that. Like you can add several songs in the mastering page, and if you're working on an EP or a full album, boom. So it's like stuff like that. I think puts Studio One on the map in terms of like value. You know what I mean? And that's why Studio One made it on our list at number 2, because what we do as professionals, not only do we make beats, but we're into mixing and mastering as well, and like completing full projects. And so Studio One follows Ableton with that in mind. And then Reason is not Reason ain't no slum. We put that at number three, and then full uh FL Studio at number four, Cubase five. So the first 10 is like respect. You know what I mean? We respect these people. It's not to say
Um,
that any of these at 11 through 15 is not respected. We respect them too. That's why it's on this list. But um,
I just found it, Ella.
yeah,
So um, down at the bottom, and uh, I I saw it, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. Uh, but it says find out more about how we test music gear and services at Music Radar. So I'm thinking that they had their people test the various softwares, their own people, staff, or whoever they have uh, on their team to test everything. And so when I clicked on it, say Music Radar tests a mountain of music making products every year, producing reviews and everything from electric guitars and acoustic drum kits to synth software and high-end recording equipment. The one thing that links them all is our rigorous approach to testing. So, um, so I want to say this list is probably based. I mean, the list in the article is based on their team, their reviews. Their collective reviews. They probably met and talked it out and did what we're doing right now. You know, um, but uh, when we revisit this later, because I'm sure we're gonna revisit it later at another time. I'm sure since they gonna uh, revisit it, and then we'll have different categories so we can go by the categories, rank them in the categories, and then see out of all the categories which ones rank the highest, and then start placing it in this rank by you know how it ranked across the board with all of the different elements that we look for in a actual DAW. You know, from coming with stock sounds, instruments, and effects, uh, uh, audio editing, um, you name it, just different features and stuff like that they all have alike across the board, and see which one ranks the best in that. So,
dope, dope. Look,
and I'll post that article that I found in the Discord.
okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. Um, Gary, you said something that struck my my attention, and it actually it actually is on par what I was thinking as 803 was talking. Um, as 803 was talking, he mentioned that their their ratings on the musicradar.com site is really based on internal and what their team think on what is the best dog, and based on what I know about this, like just my knowledge of its existing, I it's not necessarily an urban community behind this blog. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen some stuff like yeah. So Gary, you make a good point. He says, is there a journalist based on a journalist based website for people who produce black music, which is basically the urban community. That's a good point, and I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking. Like I say, as 803 was talking, I was just thinking like, I think this might turn into a ongoing conversation on this channel, and we might have to turn this into a blog and like or podcast or like just building a community around stuff like this. And it goes into what just recently happened in our Discord community. We just created a news section which was inspired by Dr. Ron. We created a news section based on stuff like this, just staying on top of what's been going on in the music industry with this gear that we use, plugins, and just just different things that affect us in this music. And also keeping in mind, like we're creating our own lane right now as creators, not trying to do the same thing everybody else doing. And so, with that being said, I think these things just started to get interesting. Things started to get interesting. I'm always looking for new ways to elevate the community, and this is the reason why I'm doing this, and that's why I have 803 on here. I am looking forward to have more of these type of streams where some of you guys can hop on with me and we can discuss matters like this amongst the community, and even Discord channel that turns the Discord, in a uh more of a value place to be to get information, because that's what it is right now. But now things is, we turning up the fire, so to speak. So, um, what DAW is most professional producers engineering use right now? It used to be Pro Tools at one point. Yep. I think it was you, David. No, it was Cornell. Cornell said something about. He said, "Don't live. I also like banding in the box." I'm gonna try not to laugh at that. I'm gonna try, but at the same, see me, I don't really care too much about what you guys use. If whatever you use gets the job done, it gets the job done. I'm not. I don't favor mixing the box. I don't really care for it. Mixing the box remind me of like a ABC program where to me in my head, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but it just feels kind of cheesy to me. Um, Being a professional, um, or maybe there's a different angle that they have. I'm thinking that's where they are. In in terms of like professional, you're 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 not gonna see professional music producers, beat makers using mix in the box. That's not an option. Like that's just not where we are. Um this list right here that we just created is what you would see, and it's just based on the power and the engines behind these things and what we are doing in programs like these. Mixing the box is not one of those, but that's subjective, of course. I have to say that. That's just my opinion. You guys may feel different. I'm okay with that. But you might as well just mention Audacity. That's an inside joke, right? That just continues to be like, can never leave that out. It's just
I don't know why you said, because I was just thinking maybe we need to call Mr. Audacity back some kind of way.
yeah. Let's get Mr. Audacity on the stream so he can tell us how dope like why Audacity should be number one. Oh my god!
I've been trying to tell y'all that the whole time.
Oh man! Oh man! Um,
But I also proved why Audacity is not really in the league with it. So not that you, and by all means, uh, just for anybody watching the stream, I mean you have to start where you start at. Wherever you start at, that's where you start at. So um, if you have Audacity by chance, you know, don't stop doing it. Don't stop doing music just because we talk about Audacity like this. It's where you are in the game. Because remember, it's not the tool, it's the user. Because I guarantee you, um, there are a lot of people in that's in the chat right now that can take Audacity and produce something mind blowing if that's what we chose. But Audacity is really it's not really made for that.
right.
Not it's not really made for that. Now, when you want to, you know, do a little audio, not really audio editing. Like I used it to check the the digital level on it to make sure that it's not crossing the zero threshold, that it's not peaking. There's a trick that you can use in Audacity to see if your actual final product is peaking. Like you say, oh, it's not really peaking on. I got it capped off, but it could still be uh distort. Not really. It's not showing. You're not hearing it, but it's actually registering as slight distortion. So,
Right.
little trick I picked up.
I concur. Audacity. So when I discover Audacity, Audacity is like it's like one of those tools that you have on your computer when you want to do something really quick, like quick edit and export it down, like one of those things. Like I had it on my system for that purpose, but like when it comes to production, like real production where you add contact and all these different things in there, and you doing some serious stuff where you doing automation and you busting things to different channels.
Oh,
You got the reverb
I
over
agree.
here, and you got this one sitting over there, and or you got several output channels where, like me, for instance, like
Yeah.
what I like to do is have like uh inspiration or demo track in on one of the lanes, and that's coming out of a separate output. It's separate from the master output, and these different like the things that also, for instance, like able to lie with the devices that you could see everything in real time, stuff like that. Um, you will go with Ableton Live for stuff like that, serious production. You guys seen the videos, you know what I mean? Serious production. Audacity is a tool. It's almost like having Microsoft Word on your computer, right? You got Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word would be equivalent to Ableton, right? And Microsoft, man, if you want to do some serious typing with all of the characteristics and details that you're able to do, you can add pictures in there, you crop them, you can do this and that, and like have text wrap around stuff, and blah 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 blah. You will use Word document, Word, Microsoft Word for that. But if you just need to type in something real quick and make notes of stuff, well, on a Mac, I know there is this thing called text. It's a text document, or we got notes on our system, and
Yeah.
you just like type something real quick just to make notes
Mm-hmm.
or of something, blah 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 blah. It's not a full blown editing, like text editing software, but it's just you add a few things and you can like bold stuff and make bullet points or whatever. But if you try to do something serious, you will go with Word document. So that's kind of where we are with that. Like Audacity is just like simple, quick. If you don't need a full on dog, like Audacity is free. It's always been free. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not doing serious production in a free situation, but I mean, if that's what you're using, that's what you're using. Like 803 says, we're not trying to discourage anybody from doing what they do using those type of platforms, but
At least unless you got sponsorship. I mean, you got a what they call it, sponsor deal or a sponsor deal.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they give it to you. Hey, we giving this to you. Okay.
Right. We keep, but that's what I yeah. Like what would be like the what would be the outcome behind that? Like, hey man, we're gonna sign you. We're gonna make you the head affiliate person. We want you to always talk about Audacity. Um, but how are you making money when it's free?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, okay, I mean, I'm not even laughing at people who use Audacity for that. The reason why we are talking like this because we had someone that came to our circle, and this was my first time
Oh, let
seeing
me
this
hold my
actor.
head down on this story.
He I've never I've never seen someone use Audacity the way I would in Studio One or Ableton, like production, and challenge me to make a beat in Audacity. And but this guy was super passionate. To it was all like joking and playing games at first, but this guy was really passionate about you should do a video. You making a beat like challenging me, and I'm like, bro, um, I'm not
Hold on.
going to attempt to use Audacity to make a beat, bro. Like I I prefer not like you know what I mean? It's like I like challenges sometimes, but that was a challenge. I felt like that was a low blow. Like, bro, it would be different if you challenged me in Reaper or something like that. But Audacity, like I don't even consider Audacity a DAW. I don't. I consider it to just be a tool to do quick, simple, easy things and get out. Like there was even one point where Audacity wouldn't even load on my computer. Like it needed an update or something like that, but it wouldn't work at all. So I just didn't put Audacity back on my computer. But it was on here for a very long time. I don't know if they updated it, but like I don't know, man. Like I it's, it was interesting because he was adamant about me working in Audacity. Like like it started to get serious. I'm like, are you serious? Are you? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What about Acid Pro? Um, I mean, yeah. I guess if we're gonna talk about Cakewalk, we should add Acid Pro, right? I I I guess. You know what? When y'all say stuff like that, y'all telling me y'all age, bruh. Y'all telling me y'all age. Even though Pro 2's been out for a very long time, like okay, so some of the ones have been out for a while. I know Cubase's been around for a long time. FL been out for a minute. Reason has it's been around for a while. Logic was around for a long time. Most of
Asset
all of
Pro.
these
I'm
been
sorry.
around for a while. But when you say Acid Pro, like um um that's like a whole different type of people. Like Cakewalk was cake sonar, right? That was a different type of people, but now with Band Lab in the mix, like Band Lab took it and modernized it, and now it's like
Hmm.
it just looks like it fits. Um, it just look. Let me see.
Yeah, because based on the way it looked, was especially the way I'm not saying just the way it looked, but the way it was structured back in the day originally, it just wasn't. It was just it was worse than it was worse. I'm trying to think of what dog without offending nobody.
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah, we trying to be
It just wasn't
real.
good. I just put it like that. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was way too many steps and too many. It just wasn't structured right.
We're about to go mobile mode right now, guys. Um,
I got stuff on my shirt.
Now this looks like Pro Tools, like these plugins. But I was
Look
interested
at that.
in this. Like I'm just looking at this. Like it kind of has like a DP look with the Cubase vibe. Um, but that's kind of cool how you able to get that little knob out like that. That's kind of cool. See, I was really interested in playing with this Sony for PC. Um, there are some other pictures, and I can only go by pictures because, like I said, I don't have a PC. So these are videos. I've seen some videos, and I was like, man, that's kind of cool. But let's go to okay. Now we talking about Acid Pro. Come on, let's go there. Let's see what's going on with Acid Pro. Wait, it's owned by Magic? Seriously? I think I knew that.
Magic's, yeah. Yeah, Magic's.
Okay. So they okay. See, look at that.
Hold on one second.
They are a partnership with Brainworks. Okay. I see what they doing. I see. I was here before and they didn't have much on their site. It, like to me it felt like they were hiding what was really going on. Like it looked like they're just promoting mostly like third party stuff like Isotope, Ceremony. Like, okay, so can we see Magics? Can we see Acid Pro, bro? Where's Acid Pro? We're interested in that. So, like, what's up? Maybe we have to go. At first, I thought Acid Pro didn't exist anymore, but let me see. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures. 'Cause it don't look like anything's popping up. This look like Audacity, bro. Wait, what is this? Is that the same thing? Music Maker software features. That can't. Is that Acid? No, that's not Acid. That can't be Acid. Let me get out of this. But I don't know what Acid looks like anyway, so I can't. I can't really say. I can't really say. Sound on sound, Magic Acid. Okay, so I guess we'll rely on these. Okay, it's kind of look like Reaper. It has a Reaper vibe. Oh, I don't know. It just don't it don't inspire me. Like the structure just look clunky. Well, that's subjective.
Well, it looked like they took. It, to me, it kind of looked like they took a little bit from uh like I almost want to say
That's Reaper all day,
it
bro.
kind of almost made me think Bitwig in a sense. Like they took like a little
Ooh,
bit.
that's audacity, bro.
Is it
Like the way it looked, like that's audacity all day, bro. The way that's set up, that's
an
audacity.
updated version of maybe that is Audacity, just an updated version of it.
I mean,
Audacity is their free version, and then when you want something, you go
Acid Pro.
there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it looks pretty cool, like it looks pretty cool. Huh? What's going on here? Hmm. Is that the leveler? Oh, okay. I don't know. Vocal vocal strip, Accentu effects. I don't know. Maybe I need to get like a blogger account or something. Like I don't know, for bloggers that just test out all these things. I don't know what, do our own testing. You just have access to all this stuff, and then we just make a beat in there. It's just like we'll need to have like
I
some
have to get you
videos of like, okay,
a mini PC.
yeah, right. Definitely I would have to buy a PC, get a Surface or something. I might be interested in doing that. Just go ahead and get a PC just so I can test out. Because somebody said Cakewalk was free, so I'm willing to test that out. Because I really, yeah, I have a. What is this? That's some Logic Pro type stuff right here.
Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of getting ready to upgrade my. Well, not in the middle. I'm getting ready to upgrade my PC as well. So I'm 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 kind of gonna be doing two upgrades at once. Well, not at once, but right behind each other.
Yeah,
Because basically, Acid Pro is just straight loose. It's and to be honest with you, it's really no different than what a lot of other producers are doing. Like I've noticed that there are producers who create loops and different little things. Even if it's their own, even if it's their own loop, regardless, they have loops in their pocket. So when they come down to creating or whatever, oh, let me slide this. They slide it in, and that's kind of where acid kind of shines to me, because it's basically loop based, and you could pitch it up. I used to have it, so I know you can pitch up the loop. You can speed it up, slow it down. It didn't really have any the artifact. It really didn't have any bad artifacts from what I can remember. As long as it wasn't too far out of the original speed. So,
right.
um, and then I remember people that man, I made this dope beat with acid. I mean, people used to I mean be in it like that, and because they created that arrangement, people was like, oh yeah, he made this dope beat, and it was at one point, it was looking like something that somebody could use, but That's not what happened.
Man, I feel like I'm gonna wreck my brain trying to learn how to produce all these dolls if I decide to take that route. But it's
Man, it's
looking like
crazy.
it's looking like that's what we about to do based on this
And and
conversation.
and and only reason I have like me, the only reason I have well, the dolls that I do have, my reason for having multiple dolls, just in case there's somebody in here that's um in this for the profession. I only have them because for uh not just compatibility, but um when you're collating, some people just prefer, like there are some people who just prefer to, like, say for instance a person prefer to be work in FL Studio. Well, I can make that adjustment and work in FL Studio and do it, because I have it. So I'll just jump in. Okay, yeah, no problem. Let's do it like that. And and then if they send it, hey, I want you to finish this up for me, and then they send it. But if I don't have it when they send it, then it's like, you know, and I said, okay, well then you have to do it like this, and then well, I don't really want to do it like this or whatever. So it alleviates a lot of that extra headache stuff, at least in my opinion. But that's what I do. I mean, ultimately, all the I ain't gonna say all of them can do the same exact thing. All of them have their own approach in how to do certain things, and so the learning curve is learning how to get to certain things the way they have it. Or so it's real. It's not that bad. That's really the only learning curve for those that do it professionally. As a hobbyist, it might be like, man, it's just too much. So yeah, I don't recommend getting like multiple dogs. But for those like me who do it professionally, we I know I have multiple dogs just for that purpose. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to consider when you get these dogs.
Right, right. Well, I mean, um, yeah, yeah. So I'm just thinking to myself right now, like I don't think I'm interested in having several dogs. Like I had the few that I have, and I'm okay with what I have. I like the workflow in those, and um, but I'll say this: I think the best dog is the dog that you currently have, and you're currently familiar with. This
Hmm.
list again subjective. It just depends on who you are and where you are musically. So don't take this literally. You know what I mean? Like there is a lot of stuff we left off this list, and I just been adding stuff as y'all put them in the comment section. But that's just because I'm having fun right now. I mean, it's not. This is not nothing real serious. It's just we just kind of going based off what we think, what we learn, what we know currently, and some of you guys helped us put this list together. You know, um, we had a stumble when we came across Reason and FL. We're trying to figure out which ones to go for 3 and 4, and then we came back around at Pro Tools, and and Pro Tools. At that point, we kind of made a break. Like, you know what? Let's add some of the beat machine workflow in there. So then Akai made it on the list, but you wouldn't necessarily use Akai to record vocals, even though you can, but that's not realistic. That's not what you know uh, studio engineers are using when they're in a session with some high end artists that's paying $150 an hour. You're not gonna pull up a Akai MPC like, yeah, we're recording it. Nah, you're not doing that. Like Akai, the MPC has the capacity of recording vocals, but that's just for like the purpose of sampling and chopping and doing different things in there. It's not for professional recording vocal use. You know what I mean? Same as Machine. You know, Machine wouldn't be I forgot, well, shoot, number 16 should be Machine, right? But we'll make some alterations or whatever. But like that's why we're gonna go back and like figure out what the criteria is for these lists that we come up with. Because this one is kind of all out of whack. I think when we got to Pro Tools, that's when things just shifted. So from 1 to 8 is like the real list of like. Actually, if I move NPC down, I think Luna probably needs to come up because it's a real doll that you're able to record vocals in, but you wouldn't necessarily do. So I think we need to do a list for music production, and then one that's just best for mix engineers, like what they prefer to record in and mix in, and then we can probably do one for like the one that works best with video production, post production, and then we probably need to create several lists for different purposes. So we'll have like, okay, so if we always have those questions like, what's the best dog? That's the famous question. What's the best dog? Okay, what dog? I mean, what are you doing? Like, what is your like? What do you need it for? And then we can go, okay, so if you're in like beat making, okay, here's the list for beat making. If you talking mix, then here's the list for mix purposes. And then there needs to be a list in terms of like price, which is the cheapest to the most expensive. Then this list will totally change because Ableton will come in last, or it might not even make the list because Ableton is probably the most expensive. But
we ain't even talk macros. That's a whole nother ball game. Right. Everybody approach macros in a different way.
Right. Yeah. Like, if we talking like MIDI editing, stuff like that, this list will definitely shift because Ableton is not feature packed when it comes to MIDI editing and stuff like that. So we probably need to do a list based on just MIDI. What's the best dog that dedicate the
as
tools.
One, you can be in the middle of a MIDI and play it, and it's gonna play. Nobody else does that.
Which dog is that?
Studio One. You can be right in the middle. You can start it right in the middle of, and it's gonna play.
Okay. Yeah. I remember when they made that change. I think you could turn it on and off. I turned mine on, and
me too.
That has been, somebody else is doing that though, because Studio One is not the only one that's doing that. It's one other dog that I know that does.
It might be. I want to say Ableton. I'm gonna have to test that out.
I don't think Ableton does that though. I think
it's either Ableton or FL Studio.
Yeah, either FL Studio or Cubase.
Oh, Cubase. Cubase, I can see, and FL Studio, I can see.
Yeah. So now we in the topic, guys, where we probably lost a lot of y'all. It's like, what do you mean? In what scenario would you put that? So basically, I could put this in the most simplest term ever. Like, if you're doing music, you got one of those legato long notes, right? That might be like a bar long. I don't know, right? But if you're starting your project in the middle of a note that's starting from one end to the other, you guys know that unless you start a track at the beginning of the MIDI region, it will not play. So you have to go into like the beginning of it. But in Studio One, you could be in the middle of a MIDI and it will play that note. Yep. Which is super useful for like coming at a point where you need to edit MIDI that start in the middle of another something else. But Studio One will play it. Because oftentimes I know for me, like, it's all about vibe. And it's like, I want to hear that note. But like, instead of starting all the way from 2 bars ahead just to get to that part that you're editing, it's like, I gotta wait. But I want to like edit my stuff like right here. And you know what I mean? So like little stuff like that, you know, Studio One has definitely uh, I also feel like when they make these rating systems, that's probably like some of those things that they don't realize. And that's also something I think about like while we're on this call right now. Cuz I don't want to like go into rating these things and not knowing the nuances, the ins and outs of something, and then wrongfully rate something. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just depends. But yeah, we'll have a meeting, and it won't be all me because I think that would just be like crazy. I think it'll just be the collective of you guys that join the community, make it stronger, and we'll like who knows. Some of you guys that may have Acid Pro can show off your tricks. If you're using Acid, okay, let's see you. We need to hear from you. What is it that you can do that makes it really cool? Like, why should it be on the list? Yeah, let's have a fun here.
I got a special request. I don't know when you plan on ending the stream, but I do have a special request.
What's up, Gary Keys?
For Sensei to go ahead on and bless us with making a beat. Give us some. Give the drummer some.
Oh, what was that? Oh, your request.
Get the drummer some. Yeah. Oh, I know how to help y'all too. Do the 10-minute the 10-minute challenge. If you have multiple Daws or whatever, do the 10-minute challenge. So take whichever Daws you have, open one up, give yourself 10 minutes, make some in it. See how quick you're able to, or see how far you can go within 10 minutes. And then close that out. I mean, do it whatever, however far you get, even if you get into like making a bar actually organizing it out and having it sound in a certain way. So you gotta be real quick with it. And then spit it out. Then move to your next DAW. 10 minutes. Time yourself. 10 minutes. Put the time on. Do that. See how you come out.
You talking about with the current DAWs that I have, or
yeah. I'm just saying for anybody on here, if you have multiple DAWs, just do the 10-minute challenge and see, and then okay, well, hey, I was able to go fast because some days it may change up. It just depends. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I do that myself. Like I say, okay, today is gonna be my 10-minute challenge day. So I'll just pick a DAW and I go 10 minutes. 10 minutes up, I stop it wherever it is, spit it out, see what I came up with. Then move to the next DAW. 10 minutes from scratch. No template, no anything, just from scratch. Just go and see what happens. And and then that way you can judge for yourself what's easiest for you to create in. I can almost tell you right now, it ain't gonna take me no time when it comes to Reason. And probably no time with Logic, Studio One. But it's just where you are.
right?
So
I mean,
that's what I suggest.
That's a cool a cool concept. A cool. It seems fun. It seems fun. Um,
Any one of them, David. It's just a test, 10-minute challenge.
yeah.
Like like out there, I'm not gonna say because they got to give Sensei some promo money for me to say it on here. I'm not gonna do that. But I watch this a particular channel that does like the 10-minute challenge, but they allow the people to have stuff already kind of preset. You know, I already picked out the drums, I already kind of picked out these sounds and all that different type of stuff. But and don't type it in the chat if you know what it is. But uh, yeah, no free promo. You got to give Sensei some money. Uh, I'm a stickler for that. Uh, but uh, only very few started from scratch, and every last one of them said, "Man, this is hard. This is hard. Even in their best dog, it was hard for them. 10 minutes. So 10-minute challenge is a great way to find out what DAW is really uh, a good one for you to be in. And if you're not really good in all of them and you go over your time, okay, let me find one, let me get it down pat, you know, and then go from there till you're able to do something in 10 minutes.
I got it.
So
I got it. Yeah, that's great, man. That's definitely for you guys that have several dolls and you like trying to figure out like which one is going to be like the main one because I do feel like dibbling dabbling around you do run the risk of not completing something if you got something going over here and you got something over here and you got this and that and so when you're working in several areas you know you're not really like completing anything. But I'm gonna read this one question coming, and I missed this one. This was coming from Long Beach. He says, "Should it matter if you make a beat in one DAW but have to finish it up in another DAW? No other DAW can compare to the project page in S1, the project page." Um. Well, yeah, it's interesting because I didn't even read your question as I was making that statement, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not to say that you can't have several dolls that you work from because, like 803 said, he made a mention. I mean, every platform has a different approach. You can do something different in every platform because they are all essentially the same in terms of like making music and exporting it out. And the goal most of the time is that when you export your music, um, it you're not really supposed to tell what platform you use to achieve that. I mean, when you make a record and you get it on radio or to the world, release it or whatever, there's not many people who's gonna say, "Oh, that beat he made in FL Studio or he made that beat in Studio One." I can tell. No, I mean everybody has a different approach when it comes to making music. First of all, I mean there is this thing where people do make mentions of what the inspiration is when you're working in certain dolls. You go in FL Studio is going to influence you to go this way, and then if you close that down and you pull up Reaper, it may incline you to go this route, or you in NPC, you got this vibe going, and that's just based on how the DAW is usually set up. You know what I mean? I think it's like the placement of the browser, and or what they put in front of you, and or like the way that the channels are set up, what they put in front of you. It kind of like things move, and I do also think that the other factor that influence people is watching YouTube. If you watch a bunch of people who's doing a certain kind of music in a certain kind of DAW, you're gonna feel like that's what the DAW was made for. Like reason. I know for a long time, Reason is definitely like on a urban side because that's what I saw. Most people were doing R&B and boom bap
Hmm.
in Reason.
Yep.
More so boom bap than than anything. But that was just the type of people I was watching, and that's what they were doing, and they just happened to be using Reason. But what if they were doing that inside of Cubase, right? Then you would just be thinking like, yeah, Cubase is for boom bap producers because that's all I see on YouTube. So I do think that like the influence is definitely from you. YouTube does definitely influence a lot of people in ways that is crazy. But I mean, a reason like I mean, yeah, reason does have that like that rugged urban vibe because of like the colors and like the way it looks. Got that vintage road case vibe. You got to route stuff manually in there. So it definitely appears to a lot of people who comes from that mixing console era where they were like patching in stuff in the patch bay and like dealing with wires. So like it definitely appears to people like that, and it also teaches you how to route stuff because you can flip those devices on the back and you can take some out of here. So it's not like Studio One where you can just bust something over and you can see it and it's all simple. But like in Reason, you can actually take those wires and move them around and put it here. And if it doesn't go there, that means it's not supposed to go there. So it's like it teaches you where things are supposed to be routed. Um, but I have a buddy who actually uses it because that's his background, like wiring up stuff and you know getting things going like that, patching stuff back, and behind everything. Um, so yeah, but again, all of this stuff is just they all the same, but they all set up differently to attend or like grab towards a certain type of people. Ableton Live is another one. Like a lot of people thought or think that it is for EDM production, and that's because you saw a lot of people doing EDM, but then like slowly Ableton started to become the platform for pop and even lo-fi. I'm not gonna name no
Hmm.
names, but there's a few people on YouTube right now that uses Ableton Live to create lo-fi. So now people are starting to like recognize Ableton for that, and I think that might be the influence also as to how Ableton became or is at number one because lo-fi is rising right now, and what dog you see a lot of times doing that. So it's like lo-fi along with Ableton is like okay, put two and two together. Yeah, Ableton is starting to, you know what I mean, like things like that. I'm not sure if that's what the real inspiration behind the ratings, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like, and I have a lot of buddies who actually been trying to push me, but I don't know. My heart is still in Studio One right now. I just feel like the workflow is definitely. But see, that also comes from background, like what I'm used to. I started in Pro Tools, then went to Logic, and then I'm in Studio One. In terms of like long time workflow, I guess. But anyway, um, we're gonna end the stream. I didn't want to be on here all night. I definitely had fun chopping it up with 803. It just been in
We have to
my
do this more.
yeah. It's been a part of my thought frame anyway to do something like this, and it just was like tonight was just one of those. You know, let's see, who
Next time
would
we got to
be.
get Ron on here.
Yeah, yeah. I was hoping Ryan came on, but
I was looking for him too. I was like, I would have bowed out. I was waiting on him to come.
yeah. Um, yeah, let's do that. I'm thinking, okay, today is Wednesday. Maybe we can plan to do this with some other people before the week is out or the top of next week. Um, yeah, we'll discuss the logistics on Discord. But yeah. Real quick, I'm gonna show y'all the list. What we came up with. This is the list. This is this is our list. We'll be making some alterations to it. Um, maybe we'll like shorten it down to 10, a good solid 10. Um, I did think 12 was interesting on their site, like 12. Maybe they was like, we can't leave this one out. We got we got 10, but we can't leave this one out. And then they kept at okay at 12, like, all right, that's it. We can't add no more. It's already overcrowded. And I'm thinking that's probably why I don't know. Maybe because we're used to seeing like simple numbers, like okay, the 5 top, then you got the 10 top, then you got the top 20. You know what I mean? Like they stopped at 12, bro. That's such a odd. Or maybe they doing like me. They like we don't care. We do what we want, so we gonna make it 12. I mean, maybe that's what they're thinking. Cause I sure would do that. I'm gonna have 13 on the list. How about that? Anyway, I appreciate you guys. This was fun. Thumbs up on the video, guys. If you are watching, subscribe to the channel. Because we're definitely shifting, coming up with new concepts as we go along, and I'm loving every bit of it. That's what it's about. Like that's the reason why the channel is called Creative. We create. There's no agendas here. We just kind of go with the flow, and that's what I've shown y'all musically. Like there's no agendas. We just let the music take us to where we're going.
Right.
And then, the end result is always like, whoa, I didn't expect that one. It always end up there. Great Keys, man. I appreciate you. Bro. I appreciate you. J Beats. Carnell. See, it really don't matter how fast you can make a song. Just hope it doesn't suck. Yeah, I mean, that's also subjective too. Sucks to who? Like it depends on who you're aiming for. Cause I might think something is not that great, but then somebody else that's listening might think it's everything, and they'll be willing to pay you $1,500 for that beat. You know what I mean? So it just really depends.
Yeah. There's a well-known DJ out here, and he said out of his own mouth, he said during when they used to have those, well, I don't know if they still do it now because I really don't listen to the radio, but they used to have what they call make it or break it, or something like that, and people say make it, and if it was good or break it, he said the stuff that he thought was hits, people, it turned out to be garbage. The stuff that he thought was garbage turned out to be the hit. The one thing everybody was wanting, and they had to play it. So you never really know what's a hit, what's on point, what's not, until because you put the right track with the right artist. That's what makes a hit.
Exactly. And on that note, we're gonna end the stream. What up, IB Music? Greetings from Detroit. Welcome. You guys join our Discord. Let me put it up on the screen. Where is it? Join us on Discord, everybody. This is where we are. This is where things are like. It's brewing. It's getting a little serious. We coming up with these new concepts and ideas. So you guys join us on there. All right. Creative.art/Discord. Where is Devin? I feel like I'm saying, where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? Where's Devin? That's one person we missing. Like, what's going on? All right, y'all. Till next time. My name is Ellip, Creative University, creative.art. and we was on the stream with Dr. 803 Music Production. Till next time, guys.
Milkins.
Remember, music's are your artist. Paint your pictures. Stay creative without rules. See y'all on Discord.